Yo, what's up guys? Midnight Osiris here, and I just wanted to do a quick video about how to keep your cool in Call of Duty. So, there's a lot of different ways I can kind of go into how you get angry at Call of Duty, but generally, it stems from when you're playing the game and things just don't go the way you want them to go. One pretty solid example is when you get cut off from your kill streaks. You've worked your way through 10 kills, you're 1 away from your dogs, you're 1 away from your gunship, and somebody shoots you down. It's even more humiliating when it's something completely absurd, like a tomahawk that bounced off something, or a ballistic knife, or like a noob tube. It's always a frustrating experience. And frustration never really helps with anything. In fact, it actually leads us to make stupid decisions, like revenge killing. Basically, what revenge killing is when somebody kills you, usually by camping, and you come back and you try to kill them. The problem with revenge killing isn't trying to kill the person that killed you. It's that most people try to recreate the scenario in which they died earlier and just change the outcome, which never works. One of the biggest sources of kills for campers is people who try to revenge kill them. They just come up the exact same way. All the camper has to do is sit there and aim down sight and wait for somebody to come back because they're angry, and they get more kills, and at the end of the day, all you're doing is feeding kill streaks. If you are going to try and revenge kill, I don't recommend it unless the camper is holding down a high traffic choke point. Go in at a different route, come in behind them and take them out, but don't go in the same way that you did before, because it always ends with you dying, unless they're stupid. Alright, so I noticed one thing a lot of people tend to do when they get frustrated is blame their teammates. I don't know what exactly it is they blame them for. Maybe they got in the way of their shot, or maybe they think they got in the way of their shot. Whatever it may be, sometimes a lot of people just look for something to blame for their lack of success. One thing to help this problem is to just find a team. Find a group of people you like playing with, and get a group, party up, and get into games with them, and you'll find you'll get a lot less angry. You'll start winning more games, you'll even get more kills, because everything's just more organized. If you can't find a team, you can head on over to huppetgaming.com. It was made for that very purpose. I'll put the link in the description. Even if, for some reason, you don't like playing in a party, I would suggest getting in a party of just a party of people and talking to them if you're not going to play with them. Because just talking to people sometimes makes for a more fun experience than playing by yourself. And I find that even if I'm doing badly, even if I'm playing badly, when I'm having a conversation with people, I don't really get angry. I don't notice really how I'm doing in the game because I don't care. Because I'm having fun just shooting the shit with the people that are in my party. But sometimes there's nobody online. Sometimes there's nobody to party up with, nobody to play with, and for the most part, you're stuck by yourself. So you get in a game of Call of Duty, and either the team that you're with is terrible, or you're off your game. You're not playing as well as you should be playing. I'm going to cover the latter first. So let's say you're in a situation where you're just not playing as well as you think you should be playing. One thing I like to do, because it is pretty frustrating, it might be your connection that's going haywire, maybe it's a little bit slower than it should be, maybe it's just you, but one thing I like to do is take everything down a notch. Lower my sensitivity so I'm a bit more accurate, take down my kill streaks. Say I'm running, Blackbird, Chopper Gunner, and Dogs. Take that down to Spy Plane, Napalm, and Rolling Thunder or Blackbird or something. so it's a bit easier for me to get rewarded for my kills. Now, if you're in a situation where you get stuck on a team that is basically terrible, just filled with bad players, my only suggestion is to leave. There's nothing you can do in 5 to 15 minutes that's going to make those players much better. The best thing to do is to leave, especially if you got dropped into a game where there's dogs up, there's a chopper gunner in the air. It's never a fun thing. But the only good thing to do there is just leave the game. At the end of the day, not staying in games like that is going to make you a lot happier. Now, if you want to stay just for the simple challenge of trying to turn it around, that's always very rewarding when you're losing and you can turn a game around. By all means, go for it. But personally, I just leave. All right, so I have one last tip. This one's kind of for people who play too much Call of Duty. A lot of times when you play too much Call of Duty, it's a lot easier to get frustrated in the game. So I would suggest just finding a new game, preferably one that's not an FPS. Just kind of distract yourself with a new game, get involved in the new game, and then go back to Call of Duty, and you'll find it's a lot easier to play because sometimes you just get too used to playing that game, and it's just the same thing over and over again. It can get very frustrating. So kind of expand your horizons, and when you come back to Call of Duty, you'll be a lot less frustrated. Alright, so that's all I really have for this video. Rate, comment, subscribe. Peace.